What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. Happy Monday, people, the start of a new week. Arsenal went 3-point collecting over the weekend. Good start to the Premier League. But I think bigger tests to come, and a bigger test to come this week, by the way. Aston Villa away on Saturday night. That is going to be a very tough game. Villa beat West Ham opening weekend, but we did beat Wolves. And we need to use that as a game to build on and tweak one or two things that I think still need to improve. But listen, it was all about winning, scoring a few goals, keeping a clean sheet. First game of the season, you've got to win. So it was a ticked box in that sense. Want to big up everyone. Obviously, we hit 80k over the weekend. Big up your damn selves. Appreciate the support. Onwards and upwards we go. And let's get that 100k this year, man, 2024. So really appreciate everyone who subscribed to the channel and all the likes. What did you make of the Yardman episode? It was good. It was good, him and Robbie. One thing I will... What was the argument was Emery or Arteta, right? And I think realistically, just briefly on that, it's very difficult to say Arteta is better than Emery because look at Emery's CV. I think Robbie was getting caught up in, well, Emery didn't do anything at Arsenal and Arteta is doing something, but Emery never had 5 years and £700 million. So, listen, Emery has won 4 Europa Leagues, bro. He's above Arteta. But I suppose with Arteta, it's about what he does at Arsenal now and where he ends up. If he wins a league title, then that would elevate him. But yeah, man, it is what it is. Big up Peter who said, I'm going to be a dad in April. Big up the community. Big up yourself, bro. Hitting the target. Big up everyone's with the well wishes about 80k. Really appreciate that. If the Cronkies and Edu buy another Chelsea reject, bro, this is Kremter, bro. When I seen it, I started panicking. I said every year, somehow, we end up in the Chelsea recycling bin looking for someone. You know, we joked it would be Gallagher. Will it be Raheem Sterling? We will talk about that. What I will say, it's coming from a poor source. So I'm hoping it's nothing major and we ain't got nothing to worry about. But I remember seeing, you know, Havertz links. Havertz doing all right now, so cool. But at the time, I was like, nah. You know what I mean? David Luiz, Peter Cech, Yossi Benayoun, William Gallas. We've been here before, but hopefully not. Hopefully not. 60 million for Nico Williams or 40 million for Mudryk. I'd take Nico Williams, definitely. Do we owe Chelsea something? I joked about this a few times. I know there's a rumour. I don't know how true this is, that Bayern Munich got Dortmund out of debt a long time ago. And, you know, it led to some sort of thing where they get first refusal. But we'll see. We'll see. Didn't you want Sterling last year? What has changed? Bro, he just doesn't look the same player. I think sometimes there are certain clubs. Trying to think what clubs really. Chelsea and Man United, especially in recent years, where a lot of attacking players with real quality have gone there, and all of a sudden you're like, what? Like, what's happened to them? You look at the amount of attacking players that have gone to Chelsea over the last few years. They're not all bad football players, but they all seem to struggle. Man United has been similar as well. Apart from maybe Cristiano Ronaldo and who else? 1 or 2 seasons of Rashford. These players have struggled at Man United as well. I'm with you, Rowan. I'd rather get Kingsley Coman, to be honest. But Coman played the other night for Bayern Munich, so maybe that link will disappear as well. So that one doesn't look great. Eze's release clause has apparently expired. So that deal is extremely difficult to get done now because I'm sure Palace would not accept 60 million that was in the release clause. I would expect it to be higher than that. So in my opinion, Eze, I don't see Eze leaving Crystal Palace in this window. I think Palace, I read a report they want 80 million for him now when they could have got him for 60. So I don't see that one. I don't see that one. We got a lot to talk about. Big up to everyone locked in. You know what? Let's get it out of the way. Let's get this thing out of the way, and let's just hope it isn't real. It's in the Metro, which, listen, the Metro is the free newspaper that they give you on the train. So, you know, I wouldn't panic too much, but you never know. You never know, people. Raheem Sterling being linked with a shock loan move to Arsenal. Loan move, by the way. I think they're just putting two and two together and trying to make a story. I always say, listen, I'm just reporting the news. Don't shoot the messenger. The story goes on to say, look, Raheem Sterling has worked with Arteta at Manchester City. Sterling apparently would like to stay in London. Chelsea would be willing to let him go on loan, which might suit Arsenal as there's no actual, transfer fee attached to it. You know what? Let's get a poll up. Why not? It's Monday. Let's do it. Would you take Raheem Sterling on loan? I think is the question I'm going to ask. We're in a situation now where we're running out of time. We're running out of options. Would you take him? I suppose the way I'm trying to angle the question is, would you take him rather than signing no one? Is kind of my question. That's how I'm trying to look at it. I'm not saying, would you rather take Nico Williams? Would you rather take a better option? I'm saying, would you take him, or would you rather just say, we're going to stick with Trossard, Martinelli, Nelson and Saka? It's a tough one. Would you take Sterling on loan? I'll be honest, right? My initial thought process is no chance. I just simply don't want anybody from Chelsea Football Club. I just don't. I'm sick of it. And he's on £300,000 a week. £325,000 a week, actually, it says here. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think? I want to know what you say. Unknown C, if we take him, Arsenal loses all credibility in the transfer market and Edu must bounce. I think the problem with it is, this is my problem with it. And I'm gonna look at this from both points of view, right? I'm going to look at it from both points of view. In reality, Raheem Sterling is a better winger than Reece Nelson. And people go, why are you comparing him to Reece Nelson? But I'm looking at Trossard, Martinelli are at the club next season. Saka's at the club next season. Nelson is the one you're looking at and saying, get rid of him. If you brought Sterling in for Nelson, that's an upgrade. You've got a better four wingers than before. So from that sense, you go, okay, it helps the squad. Where my problem is with this deal, it shows a complete lack of direction and ambition and also, foresight into the future. If Edu's supposed to be amazing at this job, I expect to see creativity in the transfer market. I expect you to bring people in that, you can use for the future. Let's put it this way. If Raheem Sterling came in on loan and did okay, you don't want to give Raheem Sterling 325 grand a week. So, yeah, honestly, if Sterling signed for Arsenal, it probably does improve the squad. But if Sterling signed for Arsenal, I would be saying, Edu, mate, your P45 should be getting typed up. And that sounds quite contradictory of what I'm saying. If we're in a situation in 2024 where we're chasing after Manchester City, where we're trying to, secure the long-term future of this football club, if you're turning around and trying to sign a 29-year-old Raheem Sterling, who turns 30 in December, who's on 325 grand a week, who has flopped at Chelsea, if that's your answer to our problem, then for me, you're not good enough in that job role. Seriously, you're just not. I actually said when Sterling left Man City, I think we should have signed him. But apparently he rejected us at the time because we was in the Europa League. I don't like this. I don't like the message that deal would send out to everybody if we signed Raheem Sterling. I think would be an extremely poor move in a market where players like Neto and Elise have gone. Nico Williams got a release clause. Eze's had a release clause. It would be scandalous to go and get him. All we would be doing is penny pinching, in my opinion. And listen, Arsenal above all said I disagree, and I get it. There are some people who go, Raheem Sterling's a good player. He's just had a bad year at Chelsea. Nah, not for me. It's deeper than that. It's worse than that. I don't want a Chelsea player. By the way, I'm just going to say, I don't believe this deal happens. So I don't think this deal I don't think we got anything to worry about. I think he probably ends up getting loaned out because Chelsea want him off the wage bill. He probably leaves the Premier League and goes somewhere else. So, listen, yeah. And not everybody agrees. Honestly, there are people in the comments saying I'd take Sterling on loan. But for me, it sends out the wrong message. It does. And then the problem with a loan for me is always, well, if that player does well, I want us to be able to sign him. You're not signing a 30-year-old Sterling on 300 grand a week. So for me, Raheem, I've always been a big fan of Sterling. This is 2 years too late. That's my opinion. You know, like you said, Chelsea signed Neto, then ship out Sterling. We should have gone for somebody like Neto instead. So I don't think it will happen. So what I will say is no panic, no need to panic, people. I'm interested to see what you guys put in the poll, though. Would you take Raheem Sterling on loan? At the moment, 58% say no, 42% say yes. So it's not as clear-cut as I thought. He's 30 in December, bro. He's 30 in December. Sin, let's see what you guys are saying. Curtis, I'll be real. I wouldn't take Sterling as my Uber driver, let alone a squad player. What is Arsenal's fascination with ex-Chelsea players? Honestly. Neto did nothing yesterday. It's Man City, bro. It's Man City. There are some players, even hearing rumours linking them to us, make me irritated. Sterling, Rashford, Rabiot. We get linked with Rabiot every year, don't we? And Sterling, to be honest. Jason said I would take him as a last resort. End of the window, work on something else. In the meantime, I hear you. Project retirement, yeah, it would feel like that. His wages are an issue. You know what? Let me end the poll. I don't even want to harp on about it for too long because, to be honest, I don't think it happens. I'm just trying to look at the context of if Arsenal went for it. You can see how Arsenal would sell it to us, though, can't you? England international, he's won the Premier League multiple times, great experience, worked with him at City. You know how that story would look. 59% say no, 41% say yes. So not as I thought it would be a bit different. I thought that might have been like 70-30, 80-20, but yeah, man, it's I think we're at a stage now as Arsenal fans, we're just frustrated that we haven't made more signings. So you get to a point where you're like, yeah, okay, I'll just take him. You know what I mean? And that's where we're at, people. Curtis, long time, big up, brother. Big up, D-Dubs. Retro said, enough Chelsea scrubs. Even the ones we have now are poor and not worth it. Wow. Pete Arsenal says E. Ross. Let's move on. Let's move on. For me, the reason why Arsenal have had I won't even say success because we haven't won anything really apart from one FA Cup. But the reason why we're progressing is because we're buying players that are on the way up and are improving together. Now, I don't mind buying the odd older player to help the group. Not too old, of course. But you look at players like Odegaard, Gabriel. These guys send out the right message. We're moving in the right direction. They're on the up. They're in good form. I don't want somebody like, and I just don't want another Chelsea player, I'll be honest. I think that's where I'm at with it. So we'll see. Would you take Gundogan on loan? Yeah, Ornstein announced today he could be on the way out. Gundo on loan. Gundo on loan. Do we need another midfielder if Merino comes in? I don't know. I don't know with Gundo, to be honest. Maybe again 12 months, 24 months too late. Apparently Henry has decided to terminate his contract. Reasons of his own mentioned Thierry's plans to leave the job. That's interesting. I haven't even seen that story about the king, Thierry Henry. Good luck to him wherever he goes. Maybe he's got a management role coming up in club football. Personal reasons, he stated. Reasons of his own. Yeah, interesting. It's a shame he didn't win the Olympics. I would have liked him to. Right, let's talk about... I wish I was saying this name with excitement, but yeah. Mikel Merino. Gundogan, it's... That's what it is with Gundo. Gundo, for me, is a fantastic footballer. He was world class, to be honest, towards the end of his time at Man City. I just think he's past where you want him to be now. He turns 34 in October. That for me is again not the right move. I think he's the hunger will have gone out of his game. It's a Willian situation. Our annual Chelsea signing, people. No, said Aiden. He also said the Metro is capping. I hope they are capping, bro. Yeah, Gundo for me, I think, couple years too late. Brilliant player, but I don't think it's going to happen. It wouldn't be a transfer show without talking about Mikel Merino. Daily Mikel, not Daily Dusan anymore. Daily Mikel. Again, the excitement has been sapped out of this deal. But we'll try and act excited until, he's in an Arsenal shirt. Arsenal are on course to complete the signing of Mikel Merino within the next 24 hours. Sources have revealed the club are close to being given the green light to complete formalities and put Merino through medical tests. It's another day, another Merino story. He should have played a couple games for us by now. What made it even more interesting, the Real Sociedad manager said there are no two players like Merino and Lenormand. Lenormand, of course, left Sociedad to join Atletico Madrid. That deal's already done. He said, but they are not here, which implies that, Merino has left. He said, I can't even say Zubimendi will not leave at the last minute. They are irreplaceable players for us. We cannot look for excuses when these players are not here. And it appeared that Merino was saying goodbye at the weekend. He was at the ground with the team, but didn't play, wasn't in the squad, wasn't on the bench. He was one of a number of Spanish players who was showing off his winner's medal. Obviously, Spain won the Euros and Spain won the Olympics in the football. So it appeared he was saying goodbye to the fans. On course, waiting for the green light. What are we? We're at the traffic lights. It's on red. Maybe it's just changed to yellow and we're about to start moving. Like, how close can we get without this deal actually being done? I don't know how close can be. It's crazy. Surely this guy's on the bench at Villa Park on Saturday. I just, I'll be baffled. I mean, it's Arsenal, so probably not. But surely, man, this guy is on the bench this weekend against Aston Villa. And let me tell you something now. That is a hard game of football this weekend against Aston Villa. Villa go to West Ham, opening day of the season, and roll them. That's going to be a tough game. We played Aston Villa twice and didn't even score against them last year. So it's going to be tough. But yeah, as I say, the Sociedad manager is basically saying that Merino and Lenormand are no longer Sociedad players. So maybe the paperwork has been done. Salman, who lives in Spain, said, saw it on the news this morning. Merino is on a flight to London. Don't know about the announcement, but he has flown out, which would make sense. You would think Monday he would fly out, paperwork gets dealt with, medical gets done. They've got until Friday to get him announced, to get him into the squad, but we'll see. They have dragged the living daylights out of it. Why is it taking Edu this long to sign him? If this was Mbappe-type signing, then fears. But this is just a backup midfielder. I don't get what took so long. I would love to know the reason. It seemed like they were trying to make out as if we were looking at other midfielders and he was kind of the backup option, but who knows? Onana was beast mode against West Ham. Yeah, man of the match. Man of the match in that game. But it's crazy. Ricky said, I know you're live. I'd start fresh, but if we fund Osimhen for those lot down the road, it's a massive L. Edu isn't doing his due diligence. I really hope the Sterling one doesn't happen. Mr. Cool Bus Driver, the only Sterling I'm interested in is money. Cash money. That's all we want. They're dragging it till the end of the transfer window, so no more time to sign a striker. Honestly, that's probably what they're doing, because they do that deal so late and then they go, oh, we didn't have time to do anything else. And they drag it out like that. So let's see. But there's no excuse for me. People have to understand the window closes a bit earlier than usual. Usually it goes into the start of September. The window closes on the 30th of August, which is next Friday, people. Next Friday, the window closes at 11 p.m. I will be doing 3 transfer shows on that day as well. Whether it's worth doing 3 shows as an Arsenal fan, I don't know. But yeah, it closes next Friday. There is not a lot of time. I'm still seeing Eddie Nketiah on the bench. I'm still seeing Reece Nelson. I'm still seeing Aaron Ramsdale. And I'm still not seeing an attacking player through the door. It's not enough. People have been telling me on Twitter, oh, calm down. There's still 2 weeks. There's still a month. There's still 6 weeks. That's all I've been hearing. No, there was June, July, and August. We're down to 11 days to potentially get 3 or 4 players out. Kivior was not involved at the weekend. You would expect him to be going. Rumours Fabio Vieira could be loaned out. Edu, bro, honestly, you have got some work to do in the next few days. I tell you that much. I'm telling you that much. Edu has got serious work to do over these next few days, and I just hope he gets it done. I really do. I'm not on here to wanting to be critical of Edu. I want Edu to do his job, and I want him to get the right players in. But my concern is if you couldn't do it in 2 months, how do you do it in 11 days? I think what I've always said, a lot happens at the end of the transfer window. Players get sold that they weren't going to sell at the start of the window because PSR and all these things kick into play and deals. There's a domino effect. Osimhen probably leaves Napoli and so on and so forth. You saw Ivan Toney yesterday was left out of the squad for Brentford. It looks as if he could be leaving. He's being linked with Man United, Chelsea and a move to Saudi. You know, I'd love Arsenal to be in the mix. Maybe they move for Gyökeres late. I don't know. I just think the problem is if you can't sell players, how can you bring players in and make the wage bill even bigger? It doesn't work like that. I've lost a lot of faith that we are going to sign a striker. I said all at the end of last season, I think we will sign a striker. That faith has very slowly dwindled, and I'm just hanging on to pure hope at this point. But we'll see. We'll see. Havertz did score at the weekend, but we will see. One player that doesn't look like, again, Twitter again, people. Don't worry, he'll go to Brentford. No, not Brentford. Bournemouth. Don't worry that Marseille haven't signed him. Bournemouth are going to sign him. All right, cool. Bournemouth sign Evan Nielsen. Don't worry about it, Curtis. No. Nothing to panic about. He's going to Forest. Oh, Forest, yeah? Okay, cool. He's going Forest. No, he's not going Forest. Nottingham Forest, who reportedly held interest in Eddie Nketiah, have now bid for Feyenoord striker Santiago Jimenez. A player that last season, by the way, Arsenal were linked with. Santiago Jimenez, a Feyenoord who was managed by Liverpool manager Arne Slot, scored 23 goals and got 6 assists in 30 games last season. Opening 2 games of this season, he's got 2 goals and 1 assist. Mexican international, 23 years of age. They've rejected the 21 million plus 5 million in add-ons bid. They want 30 million up front. And there goes another one, people. And as I said before, we've got to get true value. Eddie's worth 30 million. Well, he's not. Let's be real, he's not. There might be a way that we can add this up and make it sound good. Oh, he's 24, 25, England international. He plays for Arsenal. We'll get 30 million for him. No, we won't. Because in reality, he hasn't done enough to be worth 30 million. He scored 5 goals last season in the Premier League, 4 the year before, 5 the year before that, and 2 the year before that. He went on loan to Leeds for 6 months, got 3 goals in 17 games in the Championship. He's not worth more than £30 million, right? And you know why he's not? Because he's on £100,000 a week. That's why. The two go hand in hand. If he's on 30 grand a week, they might pay 30 million for him because the wages are so cheap, the deal doesn't look too bad. He's on 100 bags. He's on the same wages as Ederson. Ederson, 4-time Premier League winner, Brazilian international, one of the world's best goalkeepers, £100,000 a week. Eddie gets the same. Luis Diaz at Liverpool, being linked with a move to Barcelona. 70 grand a week, Luis Diaz. Like, people have to understand. The two go hand in hand. Yeah, Jimenez on like 20 grand a week at Feyenoord. I said at the time, and I'm not trying to look smart after the event, I said we should have bitten the hand off Marseille. Go there, bite the hand off, grab the money. Please. 27 million euros. I don't care how it turns up, when it turns up, add-ons. Yeah, done deal. 27 million euros. Yo, I would have took 27 million Jamaican dollars for Eddie Nketiah. 27 million Jamaican dollars in pounds is 20 grand. Yeah, I'd have probably took that for him, to be honest. Arsenal are handcuffing themselves. It's crazy. Edu had a situation here. He got carried away. It was early in the window. There was offers on the table. He thought, you know what? There's a few clubs interested in him. Marseille have just spent 30 on Greenwood. No, we'll reject you 27. You'll come back with 30. Marseille said, no, we're cool, bro. You're lucky we offered you that much. We're good. Greenwood scored twice yesterday, by the way. They went and signed someone else. Bournemouth said, no, we're cool. We'll get Evan Nielsen, Champions League experience, Brazilian, 24. Plays more similar to Solanke than Eddie. Forest said, no, we're good. We'll have a look, but no, we're cool. So where does he end up now? Yeah, we hang on to the Crystal Palace link that we've heard for the last 3 years. Oh, Palace are interested in Eddie. Oh, are they really? Are they really? Because when you look at the Palace squad, they've got Odsonne Edouard, who they paid like 15 to 20 million for. They've got Mateta, who finished the season looking like Drogba. So I don't see how they get Eddie Nketiah on 100 grand a week and then pay nearly 30 million for him. It ain't happening. For me, at best, we get him out on loan. And also, that probably stops us buying a striker. So I'm very disappointed again with Edu. I'm not even throwing this at Eddie Nketiah. Eddie Nketiah, in all fairness, agreed to join Marseille. He agreed to take the deal. So please do more neutral watch out. Yeah, I will. I've just had a busy summer, man. It's been crazy. But we're definitely going to start doing that. Jay Black said, I'm tired of watching other YouTubers. Edu fumbled the deal trying to rip them off. Like, they offered 27 million euros and you asked for 30 million euros. So you cost yourself the deal for an extra 3 million euros, bro. Come on. Like, that is insane. It's not like they asked for an extra 10, 15 and messed up the deal. 3 million euros cost you getting him out of the football club. Insane. Didn't come off the bench on the weekend. Didn't play the last friendly. You know, clearly the club are looking to get rid of him. D-Dub said Brentford would suit him. Swap him with Tony. Loan Tony for the season. If Arteta don't want to keep him, go for Gyökeres. Gyökeres is crack. That boy don't play with his food. Yeah, I mean, I think the problem with Tony, if you take Tony on loan, it's got to be an obligation. I don't think they would allow him to go on loan with an option. But we'll see. Big up Matt Southern-Gooner. We'll end up paying Eddie to leave next summer. You could see it happening. Only thing we can hope for is we play Eddie for a few games against lesser opposition. Hope he bags a few, then get rid in January. Oh, mate, I know what you're saying, but even playing him for them few games would be frustrating. Ngoni, if Partey plays at Villa Park, we lose Big C. We're going to do player ratings shortly. Roast beef, I swear Edu said be excited this window. Damn fool. And Thermal, Curtis, remember, let's start him at the Bernabeu. If we play Madrid, he'll turn into 2006 Thierry Henry. Oh, mate, this is going to be an interesting few days. I mean, what is interesting is that Josh Kroenke was pictured at the Emirates on Saturday. At the game, Josh Kroenke was there. Edu was there. Patrick Vieira was there. There was a lot of familiar faces in the crowd. Even the Prime Minister, who is obviously a big Arsenal fan, was there. And the story that's being run is that Josh flew in to tie up transfer business with Edu. Now, how that looks, I don't know. Does that mean he flew in to get Merino done? Did he fly in to talk about other transfers? Was it purely just to sell people? I don't know. But he was in town. He doesn't often come and watch unless there's a reason. And I'll be honest, I'm very critical of the Kroenkes. I've tried to be more positive about Josh, because since Josh has kind of looked like he's been running the club, it seems as if we've been a better, more ambitious football club. So I'm only going to judge him off what he's done since he's ran the club. But honestly, for me, my concern is that they sign Merino and then say that's us done. And to me, if you've had 2 title races in a row with Manchester City, this one went down to the final game of the season. If your summer window on the back of that title challenge is Calafiori and Mikel Merino, then I'm sorry. Then Josh, you might have to go into that fraudulence box with Stan as well, bro, because that is not the sign of a club that is desperate to win the Premier League. You're signing a defender and a centre midfielder. Now, no disrespect, they might both come to Arsenal and be superb players, but in reality, I don't think those 2 signings bridge the gap and get us over the finish line. I think we need more, and I think we should be doing more. So, for me, it would be very frustrating if that's all we did. I'll be totally honest with you. I would be very disappointed. Now, there might be a reason. It might be a case of, FFP or whatever. But then if it is profit and sustainability or FFP, I'm still looking at Josh and saying, if you needed to sell players this summer, then why on earth has Edu not managed to sign or sell anyone? We've actually sold 1 player out of the first team squad. You can talk about Beerif and Norton Cuffy, young players that were loaned out. I think we got 4 million each. In terms of first team squad players, we've sold 1 player. That's Smith Rowe. You can give him some credit. He got Tavares out on a loan with obligation. That money will probably start turning up next summer. We'd have got a small loan fee. Lokonga is an option. He'll be back at Arsenal next pre-season. We've seen this story before. Went to Palace, didn't want him, didn't rate him. Went to Luton, they rated him, they got relegated. He'll go to Seville, he'll be average, they won't sign him, they'll send him back to Arsenal. We've read this book before, we know how it ends. He sold 1 first-team player in nearly 2.5 months. When we sat there at the end of last season, we said, should easily be able to get 100 million. Ramsdale, Kivior, Fabio Vieira, Smith Rowe, Nelson, Nketiah, Tavares, Lokonga, Patino. How can you not get 100 million out of that? Hasn't managed to do it. 34 million at this stage, Smith Rowe, that's it. But we'll see. You got 11 days, bro. You got 11 days. Anyway, big up my boy Turkish in the chat. OGs is back tonight, 5 p.m. over on Turkish's channel. I'm going to pin it in the comments. We're back this year. We got a new thumbnail. And hopefully we'll have an intro and stuff sorted for that as well. So get involved. We'll be doing that show weekly. We started it for the first 6 months of the season, but obviously we're gonna get that one going properly this year. So that'll be live at 5 p.m. over on Turkish's channel. So look out for that. It's always vibes, hip hop, football, everything. So 5 p.m. Turkish's channel. Get involved over on that one, and we'll be doing that show every week this season. So make sure you're locked in for that one. And also my prediction. I know I've been saying the predictions video is done. I will drop that tonight. I was supposed to drop that this morning, but then it's so close to the stream, I might as well do it later. Yeah, man, big up my bro Turkish. People said, looking forward to the OGs. Big up the OGs. Can't wait for the show. We will be there. Big up the community. I've pinned it in the comments, so the link is there. Click it. Make sure you're ready. Bro, the running. Bro? I mean, you the next 3 games for Arsenal. Aston Villa away. No, in fact, the next 4 games for Arsenal. Aston Villa away, Brighton at home, Tottenham away, Manchester City away. Let me tell you now, they got to have us prepared, bro. They got to have us prepared. Do you know what? We're going to do player ratings now. We're going to do player ratings. We're going to briefly look back over the game on Saturday. My thing with the game on Saturday was I'm calm. It was a win. We ticked it. There's a couple very good performances. It's way more positive than negative. Nothing to panic about. But there's things there that I looked at and I said, okay, you'll get away with that against Wolves at home, right? You won't get away with that against Villa away. You won't get away with that against Tottenham and Manchester City and anyone else, Liverpool and things like that. You will not get away with that. So I hope the manager is, strong enough to tweak things even this early in the season. But in terms of the opening game, we won. What I liked about the game, clean sheet, we looked resilient, we created numerous chances. 2 of our attacking players scored, which is good. You want those guys to, score a number of goals this season. It was job done, no problem. Opening day is about winning. And if you can keep a clean sheet, score a couple of goals, cool, you keep it moving. You're not going to go back and watch the highlights of this game for the next 3 months. It's done and dusted. But as I said, a few things that need to be tweaked, in my opinion, in terms of the lineup. And let's talk about the game in general. And we're going to do the player ratings. 18 shots, 6 on target, 53% possession, 420 passes, 2 yellow cards, no red cards. Interesting, no offsides for Arsenal in the game. My worry about that game, if I'm being totally honest, Wolves had 9 shots, 3 on target, 47% possession. That game was far more even than it should have been in terms of, Wolves had a dominant spell early in that second half and even late in the first half, which I didn't like. I didn't like the fact that when we went 1-0 up, we kind of sat on our heels a little bit. I might be putting that down to the fact that it's the first game of the season. And honestly, as a former player myself, you're not fully fit on day 1 of the season. You do not get the intensity out of pre-season games that you get out of league games. This team will not be at their sharpest until probably 5 games in. And you got to remember, there's an international break in 2 games' time, so that again will disrupt things. I got a lot of messages after the game because I put tweets out and it was quite split. Some people saying, look, Havertz scored, we don't need a striker. Some people saying 18 shots on goal, we should have scored more, we do need a striker. I say it, people. For me, I'm happy that Havertz scored. I think he will be our main striker this season. I hope he scores a whole heap of goals this season. I don't mind being wrong on Kai Havertz. I still think we need a striker. I watched that Chelsea-Man City game back yesterday. Interestingly, when I watched it back, Man City looked quite comfortable, but Chelsea were all right. If Chelsea had a prolific striker, they might have beaten Man City or at least got a draw out of that game. I think Havertz will score quite a few goals this season, but I just think we need somebody that lives and breathes scoring goals. But I don't know if it's going to happen. I really don't know if it's going to happen. I think Havertz will be our striker. Let's talk about the players, go through the player ratings. Carl, thank you for the super chat. Go and overpay and get a Nico Williams type over a 9. You've said for a while, haven't you? Do you know what? We're going to talk about the left wingers when we do it in the player ratings. David Raya in goal. For me, this was a superb performance. Superb. Only 3 shots on target, but quality save, man, at 1-0. Moving to his left, goes to his right, reaction saves. What I liked, he came out and just commanded his penalty area from crosses. Distribution was good. I'm giving him 9 out of 10, people. I'm giving him 9 out of 10. It's one of them games you might look at and think, well, it's not like he had 8, 9 saves to make. But I like the concentration levels from him. He went to the Euros, didn't really play. Yeah, if that goal goes in, 1-1, all of a sudden, we're in panic mode. I'm on my stream acting very different. I thought David Raya was excellent. And one thing I'll say about David Raya, no disrespect, but we don't talk about Aaron Ramsdale anymore. That's the biggest compliment I can give to David Raya. We debated it every week at one point. Oh, is he better? We don't talk about Ramsdale anymore. I'm giving him a 9. I thought he was superb. Deserves a lot of credit. When we signed him, I was not convinced by him, honestly. I thought he was too small, not commanding enough, not a great shot stopper. I was not convinced by the guy at all. I think he's very good. Do I think he's world class? No, I don't. But I think he's a lot. He's better than I thought he was. So I'm going to give him credit. 9 out of 10. Ben White at right back. Ben White, again, is another player that when we signed him, I thought we'd overpaid. At the end of the first year, I still wasn't convinced when he played at centre back. But since he's been at right back, he is by far one of the best right backs in Europe. Not just in the Premier League, in Europe. Simple as that. Super consistent, hardly ever injured, quality on the ball, doesn't get done often. I'm giving him 8 out of 10. I think he's a very, very good and underrated player. And listen, I asked him over there in Philadelphia, will you be back in the England squad? He said maybe. I think he will be. I think Kyle Walker gets binned now from the England squad. And a new manager, I think Ben White is solid right back. 8 out of 10. Left back Zinchenko. I have to do this rating with balance because I watched the extended highlights back and defensively he actually played all right, but the problem for me is unforced errors for no reason. Like it's just like Zinny's a tough one for me. Some people can't stand Zinchenko. I'm not in that category, but he's so frustrating, and I've said before I don't like seeing him at left back. What I like about Zinny, when Zinny steps into midfield, he tries to play a pass that will open up the opposition. Now, I'd much rather have a player that tries to make something happen than an El Neni type player that goes backwards and sideways. Let me give Zinny that credit. I like the fact he gambles. What I don't like is you're giving simple 10-yard passes away under no pressure. And he did hit 2 or 3 times. You might get away with it on a sunny afternoon at home, 2-0 up against Wolves. You are not getting away with it next weekend at Villa Park, bro. You've seen what Leon Bailey did to him last year. That game arguably cost us the Premier League. He cooked him like jerk chicken on the barbecue on a sunny afternoon in the summertime at Carnival. Zinny cannot, and I know people from Arsenal watch this channel, Zinchenko cannot start on Saturday night against Aston Villa. He will get roasted by Bailey. I'm telling you now, Timber has to play. Calafiori probably not fully fit. He has to play. I'm not going to ruin Zinchenko's performance too much. A few sloppy mistakes on the ball. Oh, what do I give him? I'm going to give him a 6. Defensively wasn't terrible, and that's what I judge him on the most. The passing frustrated me because I actually look at that as Zinchenko's quality. So when that's not working, I'm concerned. Defensively didn't cost us. I'm giving him a 6, but he cannot play on Saturday. He just can't. I always said at home against bottom half teams where we have 60% possession, you might get away with Zinchenko because we'll dominate the game. We'll get him on the ball. You do not play him next week. You do not play him next week. You don't play him at Tottenham and you don't play him at Man City either. I'm sorry. Zinny, for me, I said before, midfield or bench or emergency left back. Apart from that, sit him down. Let's go to the... So I give him a 6. The 2 centre-backs. I'm going to be honest. I thought Saliba was sloppy. That pass could have cost us a goal. And I am going to mark him down for that. I know people go, it's one time and it's Saliba. Listen, he had a better game defensively than Zinchenko, but bro, nah, that's not acceptable for me. Do I put him at a 6 with Zinny? Zinny gave the ball away more, but Saliba's on the edge of his own box, and it's so unnecessary. I'm going to give Saliba a 6. It was so casual. I didn't like it. It's like he was just strolling through the game too much. Like, it's only Wolves. I'll just play this. You could have conceded a goal. Some people saying Raya put him under pressure, but I think he's got to take that ball under pressure anyway, the way we're trying to play. I'm giving him a 6, man. I didn't like it. Again, I'll give him a bit of time. That, first game of the season. But you do that against Villa and see what happens, bro. You can't do that. Concentration level is everything. That's what makes the best defenders. Van Dijk and them, they don't do that often. Saliba's still on holiday, maybe. Mike said, would you take Chiesa? Probably not. Elliot said Saliba way below the standard. 6.5 at least. Do we give him a 0.5? Fastest player to get to 50 wins. He gets a 0.5. Saliba tax. 6.5. We give him a 0.5. Saliba tax. Fastest Arsenal player to get to 50 wins in 65 games. But it was terrible. He gets a 0.5. Saliba tax. A lot of credit in the bank. Gabriel. I didn't think Gabriel was amazing either. But did Gabriel make any big mistakes on the ball? Yeah, the stats added a 0.5. I'll give Gabriel a 7. I'd say he was 0.5 better than Saliba. I don't remember him making a big mistake. Bro, Saliba gets a 6 for a clean sheet. How we have changed. Yeah, the standards have been set high. This ain't Mustafi and Socrates days, bro. Gabriel was slightly better. Slightly better. I think it's great that we can keep a clean sheet and still be disappointed with our defensive performance individually. That shows how much better we are. Back in the day, I'd probably be giving Mustafi 8 out of 10 for the Saliba that I'm giving 6 or 6.5. Because Mustafi was so bad, I'd just be like, oh my God, we kept a clean sheet with these disgusting defenders. That's where we're at now. That's what drives teams to win trophies. The standards are high. Saliba, no, that's not good enough. You're getting a 6, 6.5. So I think this is a positive thing for us. I really do. We're so much better defensively now. Let's go into the midfield. I'm going to start with Thomas Partey. Let me just say something, right, about Thomas. I need the full name. I need the full name. Because when things get serious, I need full names. Is it even going to tell me his full name? Wikipedia. Give me a second, people. I need the full name. He's 31 now. He's 31. Where's the full name? Thomas Partey. Can somebody let me know who that was in the second half? That's all I need to know. First half, no problem. Played quite well. Completed, I think, the most passes in the first half. I sat there at half-time. I said, yeah, I'm happy with that performance from Partey. Solid. Second half, I'm rubbing my eyes. I'm going, hang on a minute. Who's that? I'm thinking we've taken him off. His uncle came on in the second half. He couldn't run. He couldn't pass. He was slipping over. I said, I don't know how that brother played 90 minutes. He looked knackered in the second half. That was a broken down Ford Escort 1997. I don't know what happened. What did he do at half time in that dressing room? Were they doing shots of tequila at half time? Who was that in the second half? Jeez. Uncle Pot, I don't know who that was. First half, cool, general. Second half, Barrington Levy, that was. Brad, what? I mean, boy. I tell you something, people. I don't know. Did we get 38 games out of him? Did we get 30 out of him? I don't know. He had a full pre-season. Listen, on the basis of it being Arsenal and it's Partey and we're trying to look after him, I give him a 6, you know. I give him a 6. You know what I'm saying? You have to go easy on the older folks sometimes. But, brother, second half. What the? I don't know what was going on with that brother. I said, Mikel, take him off. Give him his slippers and a cup of Horlicks. He needs to go to bed and sleep. Man looks shattered. Blood, fire. I don't know what happened. That was an impersonator in the second half. I'm worried, you know. Honestly, I was gonna give him way lower, but I'm looking after him, man. He was tired, people. He was tired. He had to get the bus home with the bus pass, you know, with the The old age pensioner bus pass. Partey from Tima. I don't know who that was, bro. I'm telling you, second half. He's lucky I'm giving him a 6 because we won. But, brother, second half, something else. Maybe should be a 5, like the number on his shirt, to be honest. Horlicks is my favourite winter drink. I feel attacked. I actually can honestly say I haven't drank Horlicks as an adult. Like, Horlicks was one of them drinks that, like, your mum would give you when it was cold or you didn't feel well. Like, Horlicks to me tasted like hot sand in water. Honestly, that's the only way. If someone said to me, describe Horlicks, like, it's like getting a scoop of sand off the beach and putting hot water in it. Like, I was never quite sure what I was drinking with Horlicks. It just didn't make sense. But you just took it as a youngster. You know them mad drinks you used to get as a kid? Horlicks. Hot milk. You didn't feel well, you got hot milk. Or hot Ribena. Anyone ever have that? Whoever has hot Ribena, man. Them, yo. But hey, Barrington Levy Partey, I'm too experienced to be taken for a... Yo, he was too experienced to move around the pitch in that second half. Let me tell you that. But yeah, big up Barrington, Thomas Partey, Levy. I give him a 6 out of 10, but yeah, probably should have been a 5. Hot sand, bro. Oval team was top tier. I don't know, I'm not too sure. I feel like it was just forced on us as a kid. You know what I mean? It's one of them things. I've never drank it as an adult, I got to be honest. Anyway, let's move on from Thomas Partey and Ovaltine conversations. Declan Rice. Deckers. I'm going to be real, people. I'm going to keep it a buck right now, people. The couscous was back. Listen, again, I'm putting it down to fitness. First game of the season. When have you ever seen Declan Rice get cramp? He covers more ground than any other Arsenal player, usually. But let me tell you something, brother. A quick piece of advice. Declan Rice ain't no 8, bro. Declan Rice ain't no 8. Can he become an 8? Maybe. But is he an 8 right now? Not a chance is he an 8. Not a chance. If I'm defensive midfield and Rice is running forward, am I scared? Am I intimidated? Do I think he's going to play that defence splitting pass? Do I think he's wrapping one in from 30 yards out? No, no, and no. Rice in the 6, elite. Rice in the 8, couscous. Declan couscous, 6 out of 10, average. Average, to be honest. Could be a Euros hangover. I'll let him off. He played most of last season as an 8. I disagree, H, because the start of the season, he was the lone 6. We were playing Havertz and Odegaard for the first half of the season until Havertz ended up going up front. Maybe part of the second half of the season when Jorginho came in, then Partey. But the first half, he was a lone 6. So, yeah, for me, wasn't his best performance. We'll give it him as a Euros hangover. Let's go to Martin Odegaard. I'll be honest, when the stream finished, I had him rated quite low. I thought he was quite... I don't know. I wouldn't say poor. I just thought he had a quiet game. I watched the extended highlights back. He was involved in a lot more than I thought. But I don't think it was his best game. He wasn't really doing the defense splitting passes. He had a couple shots. He was almost the guy playing the pass before the pass, if you know what I mean. So, what do I give Odegaard, to be honest? I was going to give him 6.5 or a 7. What do you guys think? Let's see what you guys are saying. Let me lean on the community here. 7, like a 6.5-ish 7. 7 played okay. First game of the season. Ghost of God was woeful. Let's see what you guys are. 6.5. 7s. Stamina is crazy. He's always pressing. Yeah, listen, his work rate's outstanding. 7 again. Yeah, I think most... All right, we'll go on the community. Most of you have said 7. We'll go 7. I still think he's got to do more on the ball against bigger and better opposition. So, fair play. Let's go to the front three. I'm worried about our number 11. I'm worried about him. Our Brazilian left winger is in a situation at the moment where the fan base seem to be lacking patience with him. I'm actually capping for him a little bit. I'll keep it 100. I'm capping for Martinelli, people. I'm still thinking about Martinelli 2 years ago, 15 goals. I'm putting last season down as a bad season with 2 injuries. I'm still backing him. A lot of the fan base seem like they've lost or they're losing patience with Martinelli. I think for 2 reasons. Number one, there's a lot of good left wingers out there that could potentially be signed if we spent big money. Whether it's Rafael Leao, whether it's Kvara from Napoli, whether it's Nico Williams. I think people feel like we could upgrade there a lot. Second of all, Trossard was so clutch for us last season. A lot of people are like, well, should he be starting over Trossard? I had a few conversations with people. I thought Martinelli played all right on Saturday. It was crazy when I spoke to a lot of people. They were going, I thought Martinelli was poor. I said, do you think so? I thought he did all right. He put a really good cross in where Saka heads it over, where I think Saka should at least hit the target but potentially score. He played a nice ball to Partey on the edge of the box. He missed the ball completely. He played a couple decent passes. That one where he cut inside, I think people were frustrated. He should have lifted his head and rolled it to Declan Rice, and he hit it. It's a tough one. I think the problem with Martinelli, and Havertz as well cost him 1 or 2. I think the problem with Martinelli is this. John said, I'll take your Martinelli stocks if you don't want them. You know me, people. I cap for Martinelli. I'm still here saying give him time. I think the problem with Martinelli, and this is what I think's happening, I think Martinelli 2 years ago set a standard up here. And I think even though he's doing all right, I think he's below where he was 2 years ago. Last season, he was way below. Whether that was injuries, whether that was the change in the system, I don't know. I think the frustration comes from the Arsenal fans think we've seen you at that level, so it's now difficult to accept you 1 or 2 levels below that. And that's where the frustration comes from. And like I said, because Trossard's in the background, coming up with very clutch moments, I think he's under pressure. I'm going to actually give him a 7. I'm going to give him a 7 because I still think he played all right. And if I was him, I'd be in that dressing room saying, you lot have denied me an assist here. I could have got 2 assists in that game. Do I give him a 7 or 6.5? No, listen, he's got Zinchenko behind him, no overlaps. And you've got Declan Rice there, who isn't going to go there. He could have scored. Maybe I'm being kind giving him a 7. But I think he could have got 2 assists. And people are missing chances when he's putting decent crosses in. Not a 7. People saying 6.5. Couple 7s. Not even a 5, says Gun. 7-11, always open. Martinelli's loyal. Could have easily had 2 assists. Exactly, I think he did. I think he could have, sorry. Love Martinelli, but he was not a 7. What are you saying? 6, 6.5? Maybe I'm capping. We'll go 6.5. I'll go on the community. Community said 6.5. Maybe he was worse than I thought. But listen, my overall message is give him this season. I don't think he deserves for the fan base to give up on him after one season that was below par, where he pulled his hamstring and clearly that cut on his leg was worse. We've had more patience with players like Granit Xhaka, who stunk out the place for 5 years, and they gave him a hero's welcome in that pre-season friendly. Martinelli's been at the club for a while. He's done well. He's improved. He's 23 years of age, Brazilian international. Have the patience with him. Give him this season under fair circumstances. If it doesn't happen for him this season, I'm there with you, people. I'm there with you. Okay, get an upgrade on him. Go and sign somebody. But for this season, you're gonna see me capping. I will cap for Martinelli this season. Unless it gets too bad that I can't even do that anymore. But I think, listen, we've given worse players than him way more support and patience. So for me, I'm giving him this season. We'll have the conversation later on in the season. And listen, if he's not performing this season, the good thing is we've got a quality player in Trossard that can go there. But I still think there's a play. Let's do more to help him as a club, I'm saying. It would help if he had a fullback. That would help. We're going for titles. There's no patience. I hear you, Axe. I hear you, but sometimes you've got to also think as a club, can we do more to help him? Can we do more to get a better Martinelli? And I think the club have to look at themselves. If they help him and he doesn't improve, then you got to say, oh, brother, we've tried to help you. You're not good enough. Like you said, you can't be running with your head down all the time. But I'm going to back him. He didn't play that bad, how people were making out. I like that. Yeah, all humans speak languages. Curtis speaks. I try. Not all the time, but sometimes. Let's go to these two. We're going to have a more positive conversation about these two. I'm going to start with Kai Havertz. And this is the beauty of football. This is the beauty of football. 7, 8, 9, well, let's say 10, 12 months ago. Not 12 months. Season had only just started. Let's say 8 to 10 months ago. I would have honestly taken £15 million for Kai Havertz. The zone I was in mentally about Havertz, I was just like, Chelsea, not a striker, don't like his style. It was just get him out the club. Loan with an option to buy, I would have accepted it. I'm sitting here now going, you're a very good player. You're a very good player. Now, I'm not going to go back on my opinion. I still think we need a striker. And I'm not going to change that opinion. I still think we need a striker. But Havertz is proving his worth. He is proving his worth. 1 goal, 1 assist. Could have maybe scored more. Bit casual with his shooting. I think he could have scored 2 or 3 goals in this game. However, you know what it's like. You get the phone call. How'd you get on? Yeah, won 2-0. Did you score? Yeah, I scored. And I got an assist. Okay, you played brilliant then. That's the reality sometimes of a striker, people. That's the reality of a striker. And we know this. We've seen it. You've been there. I'm sure there's plenty of you in the comments. You've played football. You know how it is. You're a striker. You bag. I've done my job. I would actually much rather Havertz played average and scored than played well and didn't score, if you know what I mean. I want him to score goals. Obviously, ideally, we want him to score and play well. The biggest compliment I can give Kai Havertz, he looks like a striker. Like, when he scored that header, I thought, if we'd signed Gyökeres for 70 million, he scored that header, we'd be going mad. If Ivan Toney signed and scored that header, we'd be going mad. You look like a striker. Do I think he's clinical enough? Maybe not. But his link-up play, his quality, and listen, even when Kai Havertz I thought was shocking, I never actually turned around and said he's a bad footballer. Technically, you've always been able to see he's a good football player. I'm going to give him 9. Listen, I don't actually think he had an unbelievable game, but the goal is fantastic. The goal is brilliant. It's a brave header. You know, the run across the front of the defender, gets in front of the keeper. It's a fantastic goal. I'm going to give him his credit. And Jake, yeah, we say it. Every game Havertz gets a big chance. That is not by accident. That means your movement is elite. Elite. Every game Havertz gets a big chance. And then Shaq. Bro, what I do like... Do you know what I do like about Havertz? And I noticed this on tour. When Havertz first signed for Arsenal and we was on tour, I felt like Havertz walking through the mix zone. It was like he was just walking through with his head down. He looked like a shy teenager, like, oh, I'm at Arsenal. This fan base doesn't really like me. The Chelsea fan base don't really like me. I'm in a hole here trying to dig myself out. This year, he was walking, it's kind of, he had the headphones on, it's like his chest was out there, his shoulders were back. It's like, yeah, I've arrived. The players know I'm a good player. The fans believe in me. I was having banter with him. Yo, what, 20 goals this year? Yeah, he was like, yeah, man, I'm going to try. I said, yo, I like that, man. Somehow, this guy could end up going from a player that I genuinely would have binned to a guy that I might be like, yo, do you know what? You could be one of our best players. He could become one of our best players. And we like him. But He's there'll be tougher tests. So as I said, as much as I am bigging up Havertz, and I think he will still score a lot of goals, there will be bigger tests where I will make tougher judgments on him as a player in those big games, which I always said at the back end of last season, you know, City away, City in the Community Shield, City at home, Liverpool away, Bayern away, Bayern at home, Porto at home and away. Didn't score in them games. I need to see that from him this season. It's not just about scoring goals. You got to score goals in big games. So that'll be the next question. But I'm giving him a 9. He's a striker, and he did a striker's job, and he played well. So big him up. Fantastic header. Let's finish off with the man of the match. I love this performance from Saka. I love that goal from Saka. The way he just smashed it past the goalkeeper. Near post, power. I don't know, like, when he scored that goal, I just saw, I don't even want to say it, but it felt like a Arjen Robben. It felt like a just cut inside whack. He's at the point now, everybody knows what he's going to do. You can't stop it. He's that good at it. And somebody just put Arjen Saka. How crazy is that? I look at Saka, I just think, you're ready to go this year, bro. The celebration, it was like, yo. I thought he was doing the Bellingham celebration, like the arms up. It wasn't even that. It was just like, what more do you want from me? Put an unbelievable cross in for Havertz to nod in. Just ripped up this left back and slammed it in the bottom corner. Saka is the guy at Arsenal. He is. He's the man. He's the man at Arsenal. He's the poster boy. Hardly ever gets injured. He's the man. He's become that guy at Arsenal. That again, that's the biggest compliment I can give him. Do you know the funny thing? I sat there the other day. People always ask me, is Saka world class? I'll be honest, I've always said no. I've always said he's close, but not quite there. Hasn't had enough big moments for me. But the way I have to look at it sometimes is, I think to myself, if Saka was doing what he's doing at another club, I would probably look at him and say he's world class. Sometimes when it's in your own environment, you still, because you're pushing them so much, I need more. But I think to myself, 22 years of age, you know, he's one of the best players in the world in that age group of under like 25. He's outstanding. He's an outstanding footballer. I think Man City, I think a lot of big clubs would come in for him if we were to sell him. So, listen, yeah, we'd want to sign him. If Saka didn't play for Arsenal, I would say pay 100 million for Saka. That's the reality of the situation. I'd say, yeah, pay 100 million for him. He's that good. I'd be like, yeah, he's 22 years of age. Scored, 16 league goals, 9 assists last season, 14 and 11 the year before. 25 goal contributions both seasons. In the last 3 seasons, 38 games, 35 games. The guy hardly misses a game. He hasn't had a red card. He hasn't had a red card in his whole career at Arsenal. So, what a player. What a player. That performance, I loved it. I love the aggression. I love the goal. Can still add more. I think he needs to get close to 20 goals this season. Last season I did at times call him Sakaka. He was frustrating at times, but he produced the numbers. I knew the first goal was about to happen when Wolves left Saka free with space. No double team and getting kicked. He crushes. Have to find a way to break him from defenders. Yeah, you're right. You are right with that. Let's go to the bench. I think we only made 3 changes. 3 changes. Who came on? Timber, Trossard, Jesus. Jesus came on late. I mean, Jesus, bro, I hope you're all right, bro, because, yo, man got assaulted on the pitch. Brother does that to you on the pitch. Imagine a man doing that in, like, Sunday League on Hackney Marshes or... Bro, man is swinging fists. Right hooks, left hooks, uppercuts. Dropping combinations. Man doing that to Jesus. Crazy. Crazy that he got away with that. I won't say too much because, you know, I've got to protect the channel. But, yo, as a yard man, yo, brother. Yo, well, let me not say too much, but you know, people, you know what I'm talking about, you know. Yeah, you know what Budju said, but let me not say too much. They jump on it in the on YouTube. So yeah, let me not say too much. I don't even remember Jay. You know what? I don't remember Jesus doing anything on the game apart from getting tapped up. You know what I'm saying? Man said Tekken. Yo, bro, Eddie. Remember Eddie in was he in Tekken? Eddie, the one who used to do the leg sweeps. That was always my favorite character. What was Eddie on? Was Eddie on Tekken? I have to remember this now. Eddie Gordo. Eddie Gordo. There we go. Eddie Gordo from Tekken. Leg sweeps. Bro. Yo. Eddie Gordo. Yo. That was one of my favorite characters, man. I'm doing leg sweeps. I'm dropping. Yo. They're dragging man off the pitch. But hey, let me not say too much. Anyway, Timber. Timber was good. He had one moment of stupidity where he gave the ball away, but he was good. Listen, Timber showed me enough, even in that substitute spell, that I need him to start on Saturday. People, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like I've said it before. Zinchenko wasn't terrible, but we've seen that story before, and we know how it ends. I am not playing Zinchenko left back against Leon Bailey on Saturday. I need Timber to start. I hope he's fit enough to start. That's the problem. Listen, he came on late. He added something. I'll give him 6.5. He gave the ball away stupidly as well. But still, he's finding his fitness. He was still a noticeable upgrade on Zinchenko. Trossard, I actually can't even remember Trossard coming on. I'm going to keep it 100. He came on late for Saka, didn't he? And then Martinelli went. I don't even remember him having an impact. I don't remember him even touching the ball, to be honest. I give him 5. You know, I honestly can't remember him doing anything. Not in a disrespectful way. He just came on late. Let me read out these super chats. Found some cash. Though a striker could make the difference, how about midfield? If Rice is injured, our season is done. Well, he's going to sign Merino. He's got Partey. Jorginho's there. I don't expect us to have more than 4 centre midfielders, so that's kind of where he's at. I suppose he's gambling on Rice being fit for the whole season. But we'll see, bro. Sam said, Havertz scored against Wolves. That's great. Can he score at Anfield, the Etihad, Porto, Munich? That's when it truly matters. And that's, you know me, bro. I'm totally with that. I need to see you score against Manchester City, against Liverpool, against, these sort of oppositions. That's what makes the big difference. We see it with Haaland. He bags against Arsenal usually. He didn't last season, but he scores in big games. Thermal, Curtis, we should try Ben White DM and Timber right back, Calafield. I think now that Ben White DM thing is just like, okay, he can go there in an emergency and do a job. Is Ben White going to get the ball on the half turn in defensive midfield with Kevin De Bruyne pressing him and just play out? Like, I don't think... I think you've got to be a specialist. When's the last time, really, that a right back actually went into midfield and became an elite midfielder? Like, I just don't think he's good enough. If he was that good there, maybe the manager would have done. I don't think it will happen, to be honest. Sam said, Curtis, Martinelli is good for counter-attacking football. Hence, he did well the start of 22-23. We now play controlled football. It doesn't suit him. And I think there's a lot of sense in that. And that's why I think Klopp loved Martinelli so much, because in that transition football, his speed would have been devastating on the break. But because you look at Wolves now, because we're dominating the ball, it's a lot slower. They put bodies behind the ball, and then he seems to struggle a little bit more. So I think you make a great point there, to be honest. Let's hope we can get more from him. If not, you play Trossard. It's as simple as that. And I still think Trossard's a very good player if we had to turn to him. So Villa at the weekend. I actually think a game like Villa is a game that will suit Martinelli more than Wolves at home, because Villa, let's get one thing clear, Villa are going to attack us. They beat us twice last year. Emery clearly always wants to do us And, there's loads of narratives there. Ollie Watkins is an Arsenal fan. Onana, who they've signed, was linked with Arsenal. He might think, well, we should have signed him instead. They're going to have a good go at us, aren't they? But I think this sort of game might suit him better because I think Villa will attack us and that will enable us to hit them on the break. So I think Martinelli might suit this game. Maybe those home games against lower opposition who put 10, 11 behind the ball, maybe that actually suits Trossard more. So I think we've got to be flexible this season with who plays at left back, with who plays left wing. I think those two positions are the ones that are tricky. 5:30 kickoff against Villa, and that watch-along is going to be massive. I was very calm about the Wolves game that we were going to win. This Villa one will be a whole lot different and a lot more difficult. But we've got to show that we've developed from last year. When we went to Villa Park last year, we should have beat them. We missed chances and we got done and we lost. So let's see what we can do. If you're peckish, it's waffle settings, people. Coleman music. Mikel Arteta is back. I want people to understand, when I say Coleman music, we're actually saying it as banter and almost a sign of respect. People say, oh, you call him the Coleman and Coleman music. It's banter. Coleman music to the world and back, It's, Maybach music, Coleman music, G Unit, C Unit. It's just hip-hop references, people. You know what I mean? But, yeah, let's hear what he had to say. I hope this is a quicker one than the pre-match one, which was an absolute stinker. Arteta is aging. Yeah, it's funny because before the game, he looked quite fresh. And after the game, it looked like, he was a bit maybe stressed out. I think management is a very stressful occupation, football management, to be honest. If he waffles, we'll skip it. On the team, picking up where they left off at the end of last season, especially at the beginning of the game. In the first half, they were really good, really aggressive, a lot of purpose. We generated a lot. We probably should have scored 2 or 3. The game would have been different. In the second half, there were moments where we became sloppy and not controlled, especially with some giveaways, which against this team is particularly difficult. Then the game was more open. Bukayo had an unbelievable action to make it 2-0. Sign a striker, simple as. TM101 said, I'm part of the channel. Coleman music. Let's go. We need to play Martinelli as striker versus Villa. Need that pace. He's never going to do that, is he? He's not going to drop Havertz. On if the team can take the extra step. When I see willingness, whether we are going to do it or not, we're going to have to show it every day, how we play, and the results we're going to be able to take away. It was the first game, there's always uncertainty. We scored 2, clean sheet, win, job done. I hear that. On Havertz's goal, it was a great action, the whole action, the position, delivery, position we had in the box, the way we attacked the ball, it was superb, a great goal. He loves Havertz. On if Rice was okay at the end, he said he was cramping a bit. He hasn't had the longest preseason ever. He's really trying and he's put in an unbelievable performance. You have to give these guys credit. A lot of them haven't had proper preseasons. It's hard to just go in and play on the back of that. On how close Arsenal are to the levels the team could reach, hopefully very far. It's the first game. Hopefully we can become a better team and evolve each week. That's the aim. On the team digging in, he says we're going to have better days and worse days. Sometimes the opponent are going to guide you to play in a different way. Today we won in a convincing way, probably in a different way. It was the game required. Mish said sign Gyökeres, we win the league. Winning ways, Gabby's decision-making is off. Jake said Rice needs that pickle juice like NBA players. That's mad, isn't it? Nicky said Rice will probably need a bit of time to reach his engine. Yeah, I've got no worries on Rice. He just needs more games. On if he's surprised teams allow Saka to cut onto his left foot, he said, with Messi, I know he's going to come here and put the ball there because he does it all the time. That's the quality of the players. It's amazing, isn't it? It always seems to be more with left-footed players. How are they so good at just cutting in off the right? Think about Mahrez, think about Bale, Robben, Messi, Saka now, Salah. They have a balance, don't they? It's like they're going to do it, but you can't stop them. It is quite unique, especially these left-footed players. On initially, if he thought he'd need to leave Raya, Rice and Saka out, he said, first of all, yeah, you have to really understand where they are, what they need to give them some space and let them breathe. They went for a lot. Those kids have played a lot of football in the last 2 years. But when you see the willingness, the energy to say, I'm really happy to be back, and you see it's genuine, it's a good sign. Bale was so fast. Nyamming waffles, sipping syrup, 8 Wolves, meat lion while Arteta keep firing out that man music. Mbappe is the same with his right. Yeah, although he didn't look great last night through the middle. Was drifting to the left a lot. On how much more comfortable Havertz is in his surroundings, he says players need some time to adapt and get to know everyone, the club, the relationships, the system. He's gained confidence in the respect of everyone, the way he handles himself and the way he's performing. I agree. On Raya's save in the first half, unbelievable. I think it's the first time they had any attempt. We didn't defend the box. David makes an unbelievable save. On the clean sheet and Zinchenko starting, we go game by game. Urin has been struggling in the last few weeks, hadn't played any minutes in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Ricardo has just landed and he's getting used to a lot of things. They are both progressing really well and we have a lot of competition there, which is great. You could see that Alex, especially in the first half, was really good. In the second, we needed something else and we had the ability to change there. Dale said his firstborn child, a girl, was born on Saturday after the win. I hope it's a good omen for the season. Big up and blessings to you. Tommy said, Nyamming waffle, sipping syrup. The big bad Wolves had their house blown down by the little pigs of Arsenal playing that man music. He said, hashtag sorry, Elliot Roberts. Elliot got it there first. He said, congrats on 80k, Giant C. Big up, bro. Appreciate your support. And big up for the super chat. And the little joke. I'm sure Elliot will appreciate it as well. And to finish off, they referenced my question in the press conference. They said, on speaking in pre-season about the need to get 114 points. Obviously, I said to Arteta, what do you need to finish above Man City? He said 114 points. It wasn't the answer I wanted. I wanted details, but, you know, he gave me the politician answer. He said, first of all, I was in LA and they asked me, yo, brother, I mean they asked me, bro. I mean, you know, they asked me, nah, put some respect on my name. They asked me. All right, let's carry on. What we needed to win the Premier League for sure, I said 114 points, but that doesn't mean we have to do that. Talking about that after the first game doesn't make sense. This is a new story this season, hopefully a beautiful one that we have to write from the beginning. Today was the first chapter of that. Let's write some beautiful ones and be prepared for the ones that aren't so beautiful to respond to that in the best possible way. Track 5, C Unit Dish. You know what I'm saying, bro? Yo, Coney, you know. I'll meet you in Spanish Town this afternoon, you know. We can sort this out. Yo, I'm telling you, Coney letting off shots. Man put the subliminal diss out like Jay-Z, bro. Man said there, you know, you get me? You know I am, bro. You know. Put some respect. Put some respect. Say my name. What film's that in? I think it's in Muhammad Ali film, innit? With Will Smith. He's like, say my name, because the guy was calling him Cassius Clay, and he said he's Muhammad Ali. Every time he punches him, he says, say my name. Listen, Lay, we'll become besties if he wins the league. I actually said it in what do you call it? When we was on the tour, I said, we win the league, all of a sudden we come best mates. Yo, I'll make her not like us if I have to, you know. We come second. We drop the diss track. Nah, man, listen. You're the Arsenal manager. I got you back for the season, bro. You know what I mean? I got you back, bro. But, yo, make sure man's name's said. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, big up to Arteta and co. 3 points in the bag. People, I'm out of here. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Really appreciate your support. 2.5K in the building. Hit the like button. Let's get the likes over 1,000. I'll be back here. So, prediction video is finally out. That will be out this evening. I'm live with Turkish in an hour and a half. 5 p.m. UK time. OGs is back tonight, 5 p.m. So I'll be back in an hour and a half. And then I'll be back on here 2 p.m. tomorrow, people. So I appreciate your support. Enjoy your day. And I'll see you all, hopefully, at 5 p.m. for the OGs, people. Take care, everyone. Bless.